These people can't vote. They have no right to self-determination. They have no rights. It's an apartheid. So they're being occupied. The reason why Hamas struck is because shortly after October 7th, there was a meeting to enhance the Abraham Accords. And guess who was supposed to be in that session? Saudi Arabia. If the Saudis had recognized Israel as a state without solving the Palestinian question, their ability to get a state and sovereignty is pretty much cooked. There are a multitude of different reasons why Hamas attacked. Number one, first and foremost, obvious, the occupation. Right? Israel's been occupying Palestine, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip. They've been there since the 1940s. But realistically, I did a whole history thing. Jews have been in that region since 1880, okay, with the first Aliyah. But they really started to come in the 30s and the 40s, okay, during Hitler's rise to power and after World War II. The population of Israel exploded, right? And this led to the Nakba, where somewhere around 700,000 to 1 million Palestinians were displaced. It's called the catastrophe. Okay, so May 15th was the Independence Day of Israel, where they declared independence from being British Mandate Palestine, which is what it used to be called, by the way, despite what these idiots try to tell you. Palestine never existed. Stupid. Yes, it did. It's on every fucking map, and it was literally called British Mandate of Palestine, you stupid fucks. Anytime someone tells you that Palestine never existed, just show them the fucking Balfour Declaration. It's there clear as fucking day. Okay? But anyway, so, number one, the occupation. These people can't vote. They have no right to self-determination. They have no rights. It's an apartheid. So they're being occupied on land that is theirs by a foreign military. Number two, the Abraham Accords. The Abraham Accords, guys, were an agreement between the United States, Israel, and Arab countries, mostly Gulf states. And basically, a bunch of countries signed it saying that they would recognize Israel. Okay? Now, the reason why this is a problem is because if more and more Arab countries recognize Israel, that was the Palestinians' leverage to get a state. Okay? Because the Palestinians basically looked at it like, look, or the Muslim world in general, especially the Arab world, they look at it like, yo, we're not going to go ahead and recognize you, Israel, which a lot of Arab countries still don't recognize Israel. We're not going to recognize you until you give the Palestinians a state. Right? Now, you're probably wondering, well, Myron, Arab countries for a while have been accepting Israel. Egypt did, Jordan did, Morocco did. What do you mean? Well, the reason why Hamas struck is because shortly after October 7th, there was a meeting to enhance the Abraham Accords. And guess who was supposed to be in that session? Saudi Arabia. Now, the reason why it's a problem if Saudi Arabia joins the Abraham Accords is because whether people want to admit it or not, Saudi Arabia is the most influential, by far, Muslim country in that region. It's the holiest. Right, you got Mecca there, you got Medina, okay? So if the Saudis had recognized Israel as a state without solving the Palestinian question, their ability to get a state and sovereignty is pretty much cooked. Okay? Because a bunch of countries had already signed on with the Abraham Accords already. Sudan signed it. Qatar, did Qatar do it? Yeah, I think Qatar did. Bahrain, UAE. I think Qatar signed it. Let me double check. You guys know me, I got to fact check. And these accords were from 2020. No, Qatar didn't, sorry. Yeah, so Morocco and Sudan, they joined later on, but the UAE and Bahrain signed. Okay? But does Qatar? I think Qatar does recognize Israel, bro. Because they're like the middlemen. No, Qatar does not officially recognize Israel and maintains it will not normalize relations until lasting solution Israel-Palestine. Okay, boom. Okay, so Qatar is a middleman, but they don't recognize Israel officially. All right, fair. And there's still a bunch of countries that don't recognize Israel, guys. And this has been the Palestinians' leverage. Hey, the Arab world is never going to accept you and recognize you until you give us a state. So when the Saudis were flirting with potentially joining the Abraham Accords, Hamas knew that if Saudi Arabia joined the Abraham Accords, they were cooked. The rest of the Arab world would follow them because they're the most influential. Okay? Next. This is the stuff they don't talk about. So first we had the occupation. Second was the Abraham Accords. Also, moving the embassy to Jerusalem and recognizing the capital as Jerusalem. That pissed them off. Third, the mosque. Now, this is why they called their Operation Al-Aqsa Flood. So there's a temple organization right now of far-right Jewish extremists that want to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Right now, it's actually toppling down on itself. Okay? And the Palestinians cannot get permits to fix it. They're not allowing them to fix it. So it is going to fucking basically fall on itself if it doesn't get maintenance. But the Israelis want this. And they've been in secret, like gutting the whole fucking mosque underground. So their plan is to destroy the mosque and rebuild the temple. In preparation of this, something else that no one talks about, they went and got 5 red heifers from Texas. Okay, this happened a couple years ago. Because according to Jewish scripture, these heifers need to be executed, right, to signify the coming of their Messiah. okay? Keep in mind, guys, that Jews don't recognize Jesus Christ's divinity. Shout out to Andrew Wilson. He taught me this. So since they don't recognize Jesus Christ's divinity and they reject him as basically a sorcerer, they're still waiting for their Messiah to come, also known as the Antichrist. And this ceremony with the calves, they're supposed to slaughter them and like burn the body and turn it into ash. It's supposed to signify their Messiah coming. What a lot of people don't know, and this guy actually revealed on the Tim Cash show, I talked about this. I forget the guy's name. I think his name is like Adam King or some shit like that. He went to Israel. In early July, they did a test run, chat. They slaughtered a heifer, and they burned the ashes. They did a fucking test run in July of this year. Okay? So that's another reason why Hamas invaded. Those were the main reasons. The occupation, the Abraham Accords, and the fear of more Muslim Arab countries joining, which without solving the Palestinian question. They knew that if they went ahead and started a conflict, there's no way none of the Muslim Arab countries would recognize Israel in wartime while they're killing Palestinians. And the Al-Aqsa Mosque being destroyed, the imminent destruction of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. The heifers that they purchased in Texas, which they bought them in secret. Oh, also to free prisoners. That's another one. That's another reason why they attacked. Because they know for every Israeli they kidnap, they can get 10 Palestinians. That was another reason. Because there's a lot of Palestinians that are incarcerated right now with no due process, no right to a judge, no nothing, that are being held. And the only way for them to get those Palestinians back is through hostage swaps. So those are the reasons. I hope that makes sense, guys. Give me ones in the chat that all makes sense.